Hi, I'm Tom Harris. And if you've ever been in a relationship where something just felt off, like you're always the one reaching out, always the one trying to get closer, then this video might hit closer to home than you expect. See, some people don't just avoid conflict, they avoid connection. They pull back when things get emotional, they freeze up when you're trying to get real, and they act like everything's fine. While you're slowly unraveling inside, these are avoidant partners, and they're not always easy to spot. Not because they're trying to hurt you, but because they've built walls so high. Even they don't realize they're trapped inside. Today, we're going to unpack the 5 hidden behaviors that reveal if your partner might be avoidant, and what that means for you. Stick around. This might explain a lot more than you expected. Let's talk about what an avoidant partner actually is. This isn't just someone who's shy or needs a little space. Avoidant attachment is a deep-rooted emotional pattern, often formed in childhood, where the person learns that closeness equals danger. So, instead of leaning in, they pull away. When things get emotional, they shut down. When you try to get closer, they create distance. And it's not that they don't care, they often do, but caring too much feels unsafe to them. They've learned that vulnerability can lead to pain. So their defense is simple. Stay in control, stay detached, and don't let anyone too close. They may seem independent, self-sufficient, or even emotionally mature at first, but over time, you start noticing the pattern. Whenever things start getting real, they disappear either emotionally or physically. It's like loving someone with a do not disturb sin on their heart. You ever try to have a deep conversation with someone and feel like you're talking to a wall? That's the emotional distance of an avoidant partner. They can be right next to you on the couch and still feel miles away. You share something vulnerable, a fear, a hope, even just how your day went, and they nod like they're listening, but there's no emotional response, no warmth, no curiosity, just ... Silence, or maybe a quick subject change. It's not that they don't hear you, it's that they don't know how to meet you there. Emotional depth feels like a trap to them, so they stay on the surface, talking about work, the weather, or the latest weird thing their neighbor did. Anything but feelings. And when you finally ask why they're so cold, they'll probably say something like, "I'm just not that emotional." Translation: I'm terrified of being seen. Avoidant partners have a radar for anything that even smells like dependence. The moment they feel like someone needs them, emotionally, mentally, or even practically, they tense up. It's like a switch flips in their brain. Uh-oh, danger. Back away slowly. They may enjoy spending time with you, even care deeply for you, but the second they sense that you're relying on them too much, they'll start creating distance. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because for them, closeness equals pressure. Commitment feels like a trap. So, they might avoid labels, avoid planning the future, or joke their way out of serious conversations. You could be lying in bed together, and if you say something like, "I can't imagine life without you," suddenly they're on their phone or asking if you fed the cat. Emotional dependence triggers old fears, and their gut response is always escape. Everything's going great. You're connecting, laughing, maybe even dreaming about the future together. And then, poof, they vanish. Emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically. This is classic avoidant behavior. Things get real. They get out. It could be after a deep conversation, a big romantic moment, or even after you express your love. Suddenly they're busy, tired, or not feeling like themselves. You're left wondering if you said something wrong, when in reality, you just got too close. For them, intimacy isn't comforting, it's terrifying. So their nervous system goes into fight or flight, and spoiler alert, they choose flight. You'll find them canceling plans, taking more space, or throwing themselves into work. And when you ask what's going on, they'll say, "Nothing. I just need some time." But let's be real, it's not nothing. It's everything. Intimacy feels like losing control, and they hate that more than anything. They're texting you sweet things and saying how much they love spending time with you. The next, they're acting distant, cold, or like you're just a casual friend. Welcome to the roller coaster of mixed signals. The avoidant partner's signature move, it's like emotional whiplash. You never really know where you stand. They might plan a romantic weekend with you, then ignore your texts for 2 days after. They'll say they miss you, but pull away when you try to get closer. And if you try to talk about it, they'll either deny it, say you're overthinking, or make a joke to deflect. It's confusing, and that's exactly the problem. Mixed signals are not a personality quirk. They're a defense mechanism. They crave connection, but they're afraid of it. So they send out signals like a broken radio, never quite letting you tune in. And it's exhausting. You know what's scarier to an avoidant partner than a heated argument? A deep, honest conversation. Conflict makes them feel exposed, so instead of facing it, they dodge it. Maybe they laugh it off, walk away, change the subject, or even disappear for a few hours or days. They're not trying to fix the problem. They're trying to escape the feeling. And when you finally corner them into a conversation, they either shut down completely or say things like, "Can we not do this right now?" Which usually means, "Can we never do this ever?" The result? You end up carrying the emotional weight. Alone, you try to express your needs, but they act like emotions are a personal attack. So eventually, you start tiptoeing around your own feelings just to keep the peace. And that, right there, is how emotional avoidance slowly turns love into loneliness. Being with an avoidant partner can feel like slowly starving for affection. While sitting at a table full of food, you see the potential, but you can't reach. Yet at first, you blame yourself. You think maybe you're too needy, too emotional, too much. You try harder, give more, shrink yourself just to feel a little closer. But the truth is, it's not about you. It's about their walls. Walls they built long before you arrived. Still, it hurts, because you keep giving love and getting silence in return. You start questioning your worth, your sanity, and your expectations. And maybe worst of all, you start to feel alone in the relationship. It's a confusing kind of pain, the kind that whispers instead of screams. But over time, it chips away at your confidence and your joy. Because love isn't supposed to feel like chasing a ghost. So what do you do if you're with someone avoidant? First, stop blaming yourself. This isn't about you being too emotional. It's about them not being able to meet you there. Second, communicate clearly but calmly. Avoidant partners don't respond well to emotional pressure, but that doesn't mean you have to silence your needs. Say what you feel without making it a demand. Third, give space without disappearing. Let them breathe, but don't shrink yourself just to keep them comfortable. And finally, ask yourself the hard question. Are you constantly trying to prove you're lovable to someone who's terrified of love? Because relationships should feel like a partnership, not a puzzle. If you're always decoding signals, calming their fears, or holding back your own emotions, you're not in love, you're in survival mode. And love, real love, shouldn't feel like a test you have to pass every day. Look, relationships are hard enough without feeling like you're dating a Rubik's Cube with trust issues. Avoidant partners aren't villains, they're just people who never learned that intimacy doesn't have to hurt. And maybe, just maybe, they're worth understanding. But here's the deal. Understanding them doesn't mean losing yourself. You deserve connection, not confusion. You deserve someone who texts back, shows up, and doesn't treat emotional closeness like it's a haunted house. So if you're with someone who's avoidant, be kind, but be honest. And if you're the avoidant one, hey, congratulations on making it this far in the video without hitting back. That's progress. Baby steps, right? And to everyone watching, don't settle for halfway love. You're not too much. You're just asking the right person to show up. And if they can't, well, at least now you know the signs. Ghostbusters, but make it emotional edition.